So in this video, I want to change this back door, and I want to show you this scenario of how I'm going to go about doing this because it has a couple specific differences than most other door installations. And one is this top light transom. This is very popular back in the 1940s, 50s. This home was actually built in 1910, so I wouldn't be surprised if they actually did that back then. But the door has to be literally over 80 or 90 years old. It's just an old wooden door, single pane glass, and it just looks awful. So we're gonna upgrade it into a newer door, but we wanna keep the light transom so that we can bring that nice light into the kitchen. So I'm gonna give you a bunch of tips. Let's get right into it. So this is going to be our new door. It actually has the blinds inside of the door, which is definitely nice. And it allows you to, it's got a locking tab on it so it doesn't fall right now. So we'll install it and then we'll show you how that operates. But the first thing I want to note is that we're going to take off this brick mold that comes on the door. A lot of people think that you want to install this with it. And it's great for newer homes when you have a nominal sized width of a door frame. But since this older home has all this different plaster and a whole bunch of different layers of siding, it's actually a lot thicker of a jamb than the 4 9/16. So we're going to end up putting the extension jambs on the outside of the door. I always recommend that. You always want to have the extension jambs on the outside, not the inside, mainly because when this door swings, you don't want the trim or the door to hit the trim and cause any issues. So first we're going to take off the brick mold. So just to be sure, we got 33.5. This is a 32-inch door. So the first thing I want to do is cut out this jamb. But I also wanted to I have a creative idea because this trim that comes up along here, I don't want to replace that top section. I'm pretty much keeping the older trim. So I have this 4 1/4 inch trim, as you can see here, and basically I'm going to be using that as a reference. So I'm going to cut into this existing trim the width of this trim, and then I'm going to pull out that jamb. So then you're basically going to be leaving a section of this in place. Okay, so take this old trim out of here now. So now I'll just cut the jamb out. And I'm going to measure up 82 1/4. We only need 82 inches, but I want to go 82 1/4, give myself a little bit of room. 2 1/4. And we're going to cut this whole section out here. Okay, so I took out the old bottom sill because this was kind of in deteriorating mode there. So I'm just gonna cut a new bottom sill here. Okay, so that's still way too high.
So you might be asking yourself is what is this bathroom remodeling guy giving me advice on installing an exterior door? And that's a great question. And I should first say is that I didn't always just start out with bathroom remodeling, and I definitely don't recommend that for a DIYer as well. You don't want to start out with an overwhelming project like bathroom remodeling where there's a lot of pressures to get it done, and all the intricacies that are involved with that. So doing something like installing a back door and doing a kitchen tiled floor, maybe remodeling your powder room prior to taking on a full renovation like that is a really good way to build your confidence, improve those mechanical abilities, and then also just get you used to working with all these tools and being able to problem solve as you go. Because most of the time bathroom remodeling is in these older homes, and there's going to be a lot of different things that you have to overcome. So I hope some of these tips in this video are going to help you out with an exterior door, and then definitely give you the confidence to move on to that. If you need more help with bathroom remodeling though, check out my online courses. I have them down in the link below, and I can guide you step by step through the whole process.
Okay, so the best thing you could do to make it easy on yourself is to get one side 100% plumb. So I do have a 6-foot level that really does help out, because that's going to basically indicate where all your hinges are going to sit. So it just having a longer level makes it a lot easier. So if we make this the door jamb, the side where the hinges are, completely plumb, and we have the sill that's level, it'll be really easy to install, and you can just shim the hinge or the door latch side to make it adjust. Shim this out plumb. Something on here. This is a little too much here. So I'll go ahead and put some silicone on this base before we put this into place. So now that you have that 2x4 behind there completely plumb, you can just suck this tight and you'll be good to go. Okay, so we're just gonna wrap the outside of this and going over top of our jamb. That'll be the easiest way to go here.
So wrapping the exterior of this door with the aluminum is one of the fastest and easiest ways to go. But it is its own art form for sure. It definitely takes a lot of time and patience to be able to get good at it. I have a lot of respect for the guys that put in windows every day or doors every day, because this is not easy work. It is intricate work. It's kind of like tile work. You know, the first time you do tile, it's kind of messy. It doesn't really work out exactly the way you want it to. And over time, you just start to increase your abilities and get faster and better at it. And that would definitely be something with aluminum work as well. So take your time. It really is kind of a delicate process. It can kink very easily. And, just one little wrong cut kind of makes it a kind of a mess. So I could definitely improve on the exterior installation of this. But for the purposes of what I was doing here, it was going to work out well. But typically, if you don't have an aluminum brake, which I would imagine most of you don't, you could rent these at your big box stores for, a 4-hour period. And then you're going to have to buy a full roll of aluminum, which is usually around 50 feet. So you usually have plenty of aluminum to be able to, if you screw up a piece, bend another piece and be able to get it in good place. So good luck with the aluminum bending, but this would be the most efficient way to wrap an exterior of a door.
Okay, so now let's go ahead and put our trim in here. So we're going to use a little bit of spray foam on the side of here. Okay, so that was about 3 hours. Put this door in. A couple of things I probably could have done a lot better on and been a lot more precise. One being my metal work on the outside. I definitely rushed through that, but really it's going to be okay. I'm going to end up residing and doing some painting back there. So it really, I could have been more accurate, just put it that way. As far as the inside of the door, one thing I would definitely recommend is not to cut the trim completely like we did at the beginning. Just cut it out enough to be able to get the door frame and everything out, and then when you get the new door in, kind of accurately cut the trim out of your old trim here, because I basically had a lot bigger gap on either side than I wanted to, and that was just because the door wasn't 100% where I thought it was going to be. Plus, the old existing door was not plumb, so I had to plumb this out. You can even kind of somewhat see the difference between the thicknesses of trim and the way everything kind of sagged down. So this is a real world situation. This is something that I hope you gain some information out of this. Maybe it helps you be able to visualize what you want to do in your own place. But again, this is like a real world situation where I'm not trying to recreate the entire wheel and remove this transom. Plus, I really do think it is a nice light coming in here. But it's all about labor and the amount of time you want to do things. So let me know what you think. Call me a hack if you will. I don't know. I think this turned out all right. And once I get this painted it'll look good, and I think people will appreciate the new door. So thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.